Mr. Tate sacrifices the knight on g6. An exquisite move. Because if the pawn takes, queen will take with check. And if the queen goes here, you're just gonna keep checking. What is up, you chess brainiacs? Welcome back to another video on the Force Drive YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be reviewing another Andrew Tate game, who, in this case, is playing against a very famous, I believe he's like some kind of, he's some kind of host on a show or something over in the United Kingdom. His name's Piers Morgan, and Andrew Tate went on his show, and while they were talking about miscellaneous things, random stuff, they played a chess game. And I don't know if you all know, but Andrew Tate actually has a father who is no longer in this world. My sympathies go out to the Tate brothers. And he was a grandmaster. And so Andrew Tate is, in fact, a descendant of a grandmaster. And I always love looking at his games because you can just see like glimpses of brilliance, but like you can also tell that he doesn't actually study it, and vice versa. But I always love reviewing Andrew Tate games, and I think he is a phenomenal player. I believe he's currently around like 1700-ish, I want to say, roughly. Piers Morgan, I ain't got a clue, but in this game, he actually put up a decent fight for most of the game. But I'm going to show it to you here today, so let's jump right into it. So Andrew Tate opens the game up with d4, and as you all probably know, if you watch my channel, I always like to open up with e4. But d4 is still a strong opening. You can play the London. Please tell me that's the London. I never play it. Yeah, London, accelerated London system. You can also play the Queen's Gambit. Is a very strong line. If your opponent never takes here, you always push the pawn. And the reason you do that is because the bishop snipes this pawn now. And now when the pawn pushes, I always like to play this move. And usually your opponent will play something like this. This takes. And the list goes on and on. But basically, white has a very strong center because I strongly advise that anytime you can get two pawns into the center of the board, always do that. It is very, very powerful. And then after that, obviously, you try to develop your pieces, your knights. The list goes on and on and on and on, right? So, in this game in particular, we get d4, d5, and Mr. Tate does, in fact, play the Queen's Gambit. Now, if Mr. Piers Morgan were to play something like c6, this would turn into the Slav defense. The Slav defense is a much different variation than the Queen's Gambit, because essentially, like the structure is essentially the same, but at the same time you're still moving pieces in a maneuver that is slightly different to a standard Queen's Gambit. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. All right, sorry about that. Had one of my mods hit me up. So after we get c4. You can also play this move right here. This is the Queen's Gambit declined. Now, I just showed you the Queen's Gambit accepted, which is this structure, but instead we get this. After this move is played, you just play basic chess, and Mr. Tate does a phenomenal job of this. He moves the knight to c3, developing the knight, very structured play. He has played this opening a bunch of times, and I can already tell just from looking at this position. So Piers Morgan follows up with knight c6. Very well done by Piers Morgan, developing the knight. That is one of the best moves on the board. Apparently bishop b4 was better, but I still think that's a very strong move. So after this happens, we get bishop f4, another great move from Mr. Tate, followed by bishop b4, and now the bishop is pinning the knight to the king. So Mr. Tate could play a move like a3. a3 would be a good move. He could also just simply develop the knight. Perhaps he could move this pawn up to defend this pawn now. And honestly, anytime still, like obviously not right now because the knight is out now, but if it was this knight instead of this knight, and he takes this pawn, I would probably just push there because the queen still covers there. But sorry, I'm just seeing all kinds of stuff, which I love. Anyways, Mr. Tate plays e3. Which is one of the moves that I mentioned. A very, very strong move because, like I said, it does develop the bishop, and now this pawn is going to be defended. Piers Morgan follows up with bishop takes the knight on c3, and the only move in this position is to take back. Well done, Mr. Tate. And then we get queen h4, our first mistake of the day. And the reason why this is such a mistake, or such a very, very bad mistake, is because whenever you move pieces forward, particularly your queen, you should never be moving your queen really deep into the game, especially early on in the game, because when you move your queen all the way over here to h4, yes, I know you're creating threats and trying to attack pieces, but your opponent can literally just push the pawn here. And perhaps that's not even the best move. The best move is bishop c7? Bishop c7. Oh yeah, it's just free pawn. Yeah. But yeah, you get the point. Like, more times than not, whenever the queen comes all the way down here, you just push this pawn, and in this case, there was a pawn hanging. I didn't really look up at the top of the board there. But, you know, and, like, you lose a tempo no matter what. Like, even if this pawn wasn't hanging right here, let's say the king had already castled, you're losing a tempo here, and you will still be down. So whenever you move your queen into the game, it is very, very important that you do not lose a tempo. And a tempo, or losing a tempo, means you or your opponent gets to improve their position, in this case pushing a pawn. We're ignoring this being a real thing. And you have to move your queen now. And essentially you have to move your queen all the way back here. And so you just basically wasted a move. And so your opponent you or your opponent gets a chance to develop another piece and progress in the game a lot better than the other person. So with that being said, Mr. Tate does take the pawn. A very, very nice take there by Andrew Tate. Good spot. And then we get knight f6, and Piers Morgan is on the ropes very early. This is going to be an inaccuracy right here, because after knight f3, queen h5, bishop e2, queen f5, and this is with perfect play too. Take it with a grain of salt. Mr. Tate just is knocking on the door here, because you could still take this pawn. Eventually, you could probably slide the bishop up here, and honestly, I wouldn't even mind sliding the bishop up here. And now the queen's, like, literally running out of oxygen, and you literally just have to keep moving the queen here. And like I said, you're literally just losing tempo. White is getting a massive space advantage, a massive development advantage, and like I said, the list goes on and on. So it is very, very important that you aren't making moves that cause you trouble. And just to sum it all up, essentially, when you move the knight here, the queen can't get back. That's why. So, Mr. Tate does not move the knight there. He brings the bishop all the way back, and I honestly like this move. Attack the queen, force the queen to do something, and the queen does just that. And like I said before, I said this in the intro, while these guys are playing, they are literally talking about, like, world problems, all kinds of different stuff, debating on various topics, miscellaneous topics, and roasting each other, and it was actually a very entertaining interview to watch, I'm not even gonna lie, while they were playing a chess game. So keep all that in mind. They're literally just having a massive freak debate while all this is happening. So after this move, Mr. Tate goes knight f3. And so now the queen is under attack here. And so you essentially have three moves you can play here. You can play queen h5, queen g6, or queen h6. Those are the only moves that do not lose a queen. I wonder can you go here? You can go there, but then the bishop's going to come out and then you have to move again. So probably don't want to go there. Although, you guys didn't see that. After the queen goes here, bishop goes to d3. Knight blocks. Takes. And yeah, it could still be bad. But instead of doing this, Piers Morgan castles him blunders his queen in one move. And it was actually really funny because he didn't even see it. He literally didn't even see it on the interview. He like the entire, they were like debating and talking, and he made this move and he was like acting all normal. And Mr. Tate just goes, "Oh yeah, and by the way, I got your queen." And Piers Morgan was like, "Ah!" He like freaked out. He was like, "Ah!" And it was actually kind of funny. So Piers Morgan is now officially down a queen. And when you are down material in a spot like this, it is very important that you try to keep as much material on the board as you possibly can. In this case, Mr. Tate is up 10 pieces, as you can see on your screen. And after this happens, we get rook e8, which is a good move in a spot like this. Now, Mr. Tate is threatening a checkmate. The knight is covering here, but a checkmate is brewing. H6, attacking the knight. Good move. Great. I actually really like that move from Piers Morgan. Then we get knight f3, sliding the knight back. Knight g4. h3. And that's an inaccuracy because of this move right here. Remember what I was talking to you about with tempo? Now you have to move the knight back and you lose tempo. And on top of that, you are also down a queen, by the way. Now Andrew Tate slides the bishop in, and honestly, I probably would have liked bring the knight here first, because after takes, I feel like that's a little bit better, because you kind of get some material off the board. But Mr. Tate vouches for bishop b5, and after the knight takes back, and it's honestly better to take with the knight here instead of the pawn, because when you take with the pawn, you now have two double pawns, and you probably don't want to do that. So Mr. Tate does take with the knight here, and the pawn takes now. Bishop's going to take back on c4. And after this, we get b6. Castles from Mr. Tate. Playing very strong positional chess. And he follows up with g6. Or excuse me, Piers Morgan follows up with g6. And Mr. Tate sacrifices the knight on g6. An exquisite move. An exquisite move. Because if the pawn takes, queen will take with check. And if the queen goes here, you're just going to keep checking. Just take. King slides down. Check. Here. And then, there's literally nothing you can do. There's basically damn near nothing you can do. Let's say the rook goes here. You go here. And there's quite literally nothing you can do because checkmate will be brewing on this file. I think now you have to slide the rook over to h5 or f5. It says f5. Second rook. That's literally the only way to survive. Except for here. The king can get out. But quite literally a phenomenal sacrifice from Mr. Tate. But instead of taking the knight here, Piers Morgan plays bishop b7. And honestly, that's the best move on the board. I like that. Good job not taking the pawn. You are absolutely, completely, and utterly cooked in this spot. But good job not taking the knight. It would have been a lot worse if you did that. So Mr. Tate follows up with rook ae1, bringing pressure down these files, trying to put more pressure on an X-ray base coming towards the king. And in this position, Piers Morgan finds the best move on the board. F takes g6. And like I just told you, the queen is now going to take. And no matter where the king goes, if the king goes to h8, you are going to probably take on f6. Yes, that's a top engine move. If the king comes back here now, or actually, wait, let's say the king goes here. Yeah, you're literally completely and utterly cooked on all fronts. You are completely and utterly cooked, and it is not even close. Well done by Mr. Tate to find that one. And that was all set up a while ago from this knight sacrifice. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And then in this position, Piers Morgan does play king f8. Then we get queen takes on h6. And it looks like he's kind of just playing with his food a little bit. Kind of interesting. King slides down now. And honestly, it would have been a lot better to go here. Because when the king goes here, now you can just check here. And when the king moves again, you're just going to lose the knight now. And that's actually what was played in the game. We had king d8. Mr. Tate now takes the knight. Rook e7, trying to stop the attack. Bishop takes on e6. Rook c8. The third blunder of the game by Piers Morgan. And there's clearly a skill difference here. Clearly a skill difference. And I actually believe I saw somewhere that Mr. Tate does chess puzzles every single day. So if you want to be cool and get better at chess, I do it every single day. I do chess puzzles, or I do 10 chess puzzles every single day. No excuses, no questions asked, and I actually have it on my board above my head here. I'm on day 255 of doing 10 chess puzzles in a row, and before that I was doing 30 chess puzzles in a row, but now that I'm doing YouTube and all kinds of content creation, I have to do a little bit less, but basically just trains your mind to still recognize various patterns. But After he plays here, Mr. Tate does take the rook here, and that's actually not even the best move. The best move would have been to play rook b1, attacking this pawn. Because after bishop a6 is top entry move, and I'm just going to show you that there's a mate in 8 here. I'll show you this real quick. After queen f8 check, king c7, queen takes on queen takes on e7, king b8, bishop takes on c8, king takes on c8, queen a7, check. Wait, what? Or queen takes on a7. Queen takes on the a7, and then we get b5, queen takes on a6, king d8, and I'm just showing you all the top entry moves here. Takes, king c7, check here, and then mate. So that is the mate in 8 that you saw on screen a second ago. But after the king takes here, which is, by the way, the 4th blunder by Piers Morgan, we get queen takes on e7 by white, and at this point, Piers Morgan is completely and utterly cooked. Bishop d5, e4, attacking the bishop. Bishop c4, attacking the rook now, and well done by Mr. Piers Morgan. The rook is trapped here, but as I said before, when you are down material, you literally only have one bishop left, and at this point you're basically just trying to force a draw of sorts. After this, we get queen e8 check, king slides down. Well done by Mr. Piers Morgan. It's apparently the third best move. Queen e5 check, king slides over to d7, pawn pushes now, king slides back, pawn pushes again. Now the bishop takes. And now, it is going to be mate in 2. Queen e7 check, king c8, queen c7 checkmate. And in this position, Mr. Tate checkmates Piers Morgan on move 33. I just want to give my props to Piers Morgan. A lot of people would have just resigned or given up or whatever. Mr. Tate is a very talented player. I believe he's right around like 1600 to 1700 elo if I had to guess based on the games that I've seen from him. And like I said, he does chess puzzles every day, so he is very up to date on pattern recognition, which has to do a lot with how far you get, because chess is essentially all about critical thinking, pattern recognition, being able to focus, not crash out when you lose, and the list goes on and on and on. But at the end of the day, Piers Morgan fought very valiantly, in my opinion. Did have some blunders. Blundering your queen here on this move, I think, is pretty bad. Like, this was bad. Now, granted, they were having a conversation, but probably don't want your queen there. But kudos to Piers Morgan, and GG's to Mr. Tate on a well-get-done game of chess. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and tell me what you think of this game. Do you think what elo do you think Piers Morgan is? Do you think Piers Morgan even plays chess? I personally don't think he even plays chess because he's got a very busy lifestyle. But I thought he fought very valiantly, and if I had to guess, I think he's like 900 to 1,000 elo. But you tell me, what elo do you think Piers Morgan is? And also tell me what elo you think Mr. Tate is. I believe he's 1,700 elo, and I haven't been able to find his chess.com account. But if I ever find his chess.com account, I will keep you posted, and we will figure that out. But tell me what you think, and also tell me what your rapid, blitz, or bullet elo is. I really want to know, and I would love for you to share that with me because I love meeting up with people of all different skill levels, and it makes me happy when I get these kind of people in my YouTube comments. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, I would really appreciate it. And also, if you enjoy chess content, I highly recommend you subscribe. We post these videos every single day. We review celebrity chess games, we do low elo reviews, we review cheater games, and we also post our chess tournaments. Which leads me to my next point. We have a Discord server where, like I said, we host chess tournaments twice a week. We have a daily checkmate channel, and we are launching a ranked chess system and a chess dojo, and we have so much more other awesome, fun learning tools to help you improve at the game of chess. If that sounds like something you would enjoy, I highly recommend you check it out. The link is going to be in the description down below, and all you got to do is click that, hop in, and explore the server. 10 out of 10 experience, and I think you will find it very, very helpful if you are a big fan of chess. And guys, one last thing. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this video. This video was very fun to make, and I think you will actually find it very, very intriguing if you enjoy the game of chess. And for one last time, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.